up? It's Richie here with Statifying Football. This is the Week 7 for the NFL games on Sunday and Monday, starting with the Washington football team and the Green Bay Packers. Washington, they lost to Kansas City 31-13. Taylor Heinicke, 182 passing, a touchdown and interception. Jamin Davis had 11 tackles. Cole Holcomb, 10 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 pass defense. Defensively, they did have 3 sacks and forced 3 turnovers, which they're going to need to do that against a really good offense with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Green Bay beat Chicago 24-14. Aaron Rodgers, 195 passing, 2 touchdowns, plus 1 rushing touchdown. Defensively, they had 4 sacks in that game. I think this could be a bit of a shootout, pretty high scoring game, but I'm gonna go with Green Bay to win that one. I think Heinicke might make a few too many mistakes. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't usually, so I think he should be able to win that game. All right, Kansas City and Tennessee. This will be a pretty big game for maybe an AFC wildcard spot later on. Kansas City, they destroyed Washington 31-13. Pat Mahomes, 397 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions. They turned it over 3 times in that game. They had nearly 500 yards of offense, but they can't turn over that much against Tennessee, who just beat a really good Bills team, 34-31. Ryan Tannehill, he passed for 216 and an interception. He did run for 1, but Derrick Henry, he may be one of the MVPs of the season. He ran for 143 yards, 3 touchdowns. David Long added in 14 tackles. This is really to me, it's gonna kind of come down to 2 things. Kansas City, 1, is Mahomes and the team going to keep turning it over? And 2, can Tennessee keep Derrick Henry going? I think he's run for 100 yards in like the last 4 games or something like that. If he can get that running game going and keep Kansas City's offense off the field, kind of similar to what they did with the Bills, Tennessee has a really good shot of winning this game. I'm going to go, I don't like to go against Kansas City, even though they're 3-3. They haven't quite lived up to their billing, but it's still Kansas City, so I'm going to give them a slight edge in that game, but this is going to be really close, and like I said, it's going to be really important, probably towards the end of the season. Alright, Atlanta and Miami. Atlanta coming off a bye. They beat the Jets 27-20. Matt Ryan passed for 342, 2 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, 9 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. They had 450 yards of offense. Miami, they just lost to Jacksonville 23-20. Tua Tagovailoa passed for 329, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Mike Gesicki, 8 catches, 115. They put up 431 yards themselves. Miami seems to be going downwards, though. They won their first game and have lost their last 5. Atlanta still at least has a pretty potent offense, so I'm going to go Atlanta to win that game. All right, the Jets and the Patriots. The Jets, they're coming off a bye. They lost to Atlanta 27-20. Zach Wilson, 192 and an interception. New England, they're this close to being maybe 5-1 in the season. They lost in overtime to Dallas, 35-29. Mac Jones, 229, 2 passing, and a costly interception late. He started the game 10 for 10 and was really, really good. Damian Harris ran for 101 and a touchdown. Juwan Bentley had 13 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. I think this game New England will get over. They'll be able to force Wilson into a bunch of turnovers. Mac Jones seems to be, he's good. He's going to be really good, I think, in the future. I think New England wins that one. Carolina versus the Giants. Carolina, they lost in overtime to Minnesota 34-28. Sam Darnold was kind of terrible. 17-41, 207, a pick, and a touchdown. He added 48 rushing yards. They turned it over 3 times in that game. They did have a block return for a touchdown. Keith Taylor had 10 tackles and 3 passes defense. Jermaine Carter had 10 tackles and a tackle for loss. And Sean Chandler had 10 tackles. Giants, they lost to the Rams 38-11. Daniel Jones, 242. He threw 3 interceptions. They turned it over 4 times as a team. Tay Crowder had 10 tackles and a tackle for loss there. I think Carolina, even though they're on a 3-game losing skid, I think they'll bounce back. As long as Darnold doesn't keep turning over like he has been the past couple of games, I think they should be able to get by the Giants. All right, Cincinnati and Baltimore, big game in the AFC. Cincinnati, they beat Detroit 34-11. Joe Burrow, 271 passing, 3 touchdown passes, 1 interception, and 20 rushing yards. Baltimore, they destroyed the Chargers 34-6. Lamar Jackson, he did throw 2 interceptions, passed for 167, a touchdown, and ran for 51. They ran for 187 yards as a team. Seeing what Baltimore's defense did to the high-powered Chargers offense, the Chargers scored 47 points the week before and only scored 6. I have a hard time seeing Cincinnati winning this game. I think Baltimore gets a lead and wins that one. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Las Vegas Raiders. Philly lost to Tampa Bay 28-22. Jalen Hurts was subpar passing, 12 of 26, 115, a touchdown, a pick. He did run for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns, but those were a lot of late yards when they were down 28-7. He only had 213 total yards. Alex Singleton had 15 tackles and a pass defensively. The Raiders, kind of surprisingly to me, without Gruden, they were able to beat Denver 34-24. Derek Carr passed for 341 and 2 touchdowns. They had 426 total yards. Defensively, they had 5 sacks and forced 4 turnovers. Max Crosby had 3 sacks all by himself. Corey Littleton, 11 tackles, half a sack, and a pass defense. Denzel Perryman, 11 tackles, and Nate Hobbs had 11 tackles. I think it seems like the Raiders are still a pretty good team. I think they should be able to score on Philadelphia. Tampa's could have and probably should have scored more on Philly. I think Raiders will win that one. Detroit and the Rams. Jared Goff returning to LA. Detroit, they lost to Cincinnati 34-11. Goff was kind of terrible, 202 and a pick. They only ran for 36 yards as a team. The Rams, they beat the Giants 38-11. Matt Stafford 251 passing, 4 touchdown passes and a pick. Cooper Kupp 9 catches, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, they had 4 sacks, 4 turnovers, and Jordan Fuller had 11 tackles. The Rams, they are a definite Super Bowl contenders. Detroit, they stood last week against really good competition in Cincinnati, and I think more of the same. I think the Rams might blow them out. Houston and Arizona. Houston, they got demolished by Indianapolis 31-3. Davis Mills 243, 2 interceptions. They had 3 turnovers as a team. Arizona, they remain, even without their coach there on the sideline. He was out. He couldn't travel with the team because of COVID. They remain undefeated. They put a whooping on Cleveland 37-14. Kyler Murray, 229, 4 touchdown passes. Defensively, had 5 sacks and 3 turnovers in that game. Arizona may be the best team in the league. At least they're the only one that is still undefeated. Houston is one of the worst teams in the league. This could be more of the same for Arizona. This could be a blowout. All right, Chicago and Tampa. Chicago, they lost 24-14 to Green Bay. Justin Fields, 174 passing, a touchdown, a pick, and he did add 43 rushing yards. Roquan Smith had 12 tackles. Tampa Bay, they got by Philly 28-22. They're at 28-7 and basically kind of let up. Brady, though, passed for 297, 2 touchdowns and an interception. They had just a hair under 400 total yards. They did have 120 penalty yards. They got to clean that up. I think this may be a kind of a close game early on. Chicago has a really good defense. The Bucs defense is, the secondary has been hurt, but Chicago doesn't have much of an offense. Fields is a rookie who looks like he could be good, but he's still inconsistent. He can get sacked and be forced into turnovers. The best part about them is their running game, and both of their top running backs are hurt. At least their top one is. The other one was out with COVID. We'll see if he is back. I think with Brady there, I think they should be able to score enough. I don't know if they'll blow them out necessarily. Maybe as the game goes on, they might wear them out. But I do think Tampa Bay should win by, I'm saying, 14 to 20 points. All right, the Sunday night game, the Indianapolis Colts and the San Francisco 49ers. Indy got by Houston 31-3. Carson Wentz 223 and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor ran for 145 and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, they forced 3 turnovers in that game. Bobby Okereke had 14 tackles. Kenny Moore had 10 tackles and a tackle for loss. San Francisco, they're coming off a bye. Their last game, they lost a close game to Arizona 17-10. Trey Lance, 192 passing, an interception, and ran for 89 yards there. I think Indianapolis looks good, but I still really like San Francisco. They could go on a run, maybe sneak in as a wild card. At the very least, they're good enough to maybe ruin somebody else's playoff chances. And I think their defense is good. I'm not sure if Jimmy Garoppolo will be back, but I'm going to give San Francisco a little bit of an edge here. This could be kind of a low-scoring game, and I'll go San Francisco winning that game. All right, the Monday night game between the New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks. New Orleans is coming off a bye. Their last game was a 33-22 win against Washington. Winston was 15 of 30, only 50%, 279. Yeah, 4 touchdown passes, but one was a Hail Mary. Pete Warner had 13 tackles. Seattle, they lost in a late field goal to Pittsburgh, 23-20. Geno Smith didn't do too bad, filling in for Russell Wilson, 209 and a touchdown. Alex Collins ran for 101 and a touchdown. Bobby Wagner had 14 tackles, and Jordan Brooks had 14 tackles himself. To me, this is going to come down to Jameis Winston. He's very inconsistent. Sometimes he can throw 4 and 5 touchdowns. Sometimes he can throw 3 and 4 interceptions. We'll just have to see about that. I'm going to go with New Orleans slightly here. I think their defense is pretty good. I think maybe Kamara, if they can get him going, take pressure off Jameis a little bit. I will say New Orleans to win that one, but it'll be, I think it'll be pretty close. It may come down to, they may need a field goal to win it, or may need Seattle to miss a field goal to win it or something, but I think New Orleans comes out victorious. Alright, those are my picks for the Sunday and Monday games for the NFL Week 7. Check out my other videos later. Peace.